World War II was a global conflict that lasted from 1939 to 1945, involving most of the world's nations and marked by significant events and consequences. Here's an overview of major events in World War II. 1. The beginning of the war. The war officially begins when Nazi Germany, led by Adolf Hitler, invades Poland. This invasion prompts Britain and France to declare war on Germany, starting the European theater of World War II. 2. The fall of France. Germany launches an invasion of France and the Low Countries, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg. Within weeks, France falls to the German forces, and the German occupation of France begins. The British forces are evacuated from Dunkirk in a remarkable operation known as Operation Dynamo. 3. Battle of Britain. The Battle of Britain was a significant air campaign in which Nazi Germany's Luftwaffe attempted to destroy the British Royal Air Force, RAF, and gain air superiority to prepare for a German invasion of Britain. However, the RAF successfully defended the UK, and Hitler postponed the invasion indefinitely. 4. The invasion of the Soviet Union. Germany invades the Soviet Union, marking a significant turning point. This surprise attack opened up the Eastern Front, which would become one of the most brutal theaters of the war. Initially, the Germans make huge gains, but the Soviet Union eventually repels the invasion, especially after the harsh Russian winter sets in. 5. Attack on Pearl Harbor. Japan launches a surprise attack on the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. The attack leads to the United States declaring war on Japan, which also brings Germany and Italy into the conflict due to their alliance with Japan. This marks the entry of the U.S. into World War II. 6. The Battle of Midway. A crucial naval battle between the United States and Japan, where the U.S. Navy successfully defeats the Japanese fleet, sinking 4 aircraft carriers. This battle significantly weakened Japan's naval power and turned the tide in favor of the Allies in the Pacific theater. 7. The Battle of Stalingrad. A brutal siege of the city of Stalingrad by German forces, where the Soviet Red Army successfully encircles and defeats the German Sixth Army. The defeat at Stalingrad marks the beginning of a German retreat from the Eastern Front. 8. D-Day, Normandy invasion. On D-Day, Allied forces, including the United States, the United Kingdom, and Canada, land on the beaches of Normandy, France. This operation, known as Operation Overlord, begins the liberation of Western Europe from Nazi control. 9. The fall of Berlin and the end of the war in Europe. As the Allies close in on Berlin, Hitler commits suicide in his bunker. The German military surrenders unconditionally to the Allies shortly afterward on May 7, 1945, marking the end of the war in Europe. Victory in Europe, or VE Day, is celebrated on May 8. 10. The atomic bombings of Japan. The United States drops 2 atomic bombs on Japan, one on Hiroshima and the other on Nagasaki. The devastation of these bombings, combined with the Soviet Union declaring war on Japan, forces Japan to surrender. 11. The end of World War II. After the atomic bombings and the Soviet invasion, Japan formally surrenders to the Allies, officially ending World War II. The surrender ceremony takes place aboard the USS Missouri in Tokyo Bay. Key consequences of World War II. 1. Massive loss of life. An estimated 85 million people died during the conflict, including civilians, soldiers, and victims of the Holocaust. 2. The Holocaust. The systematic genocide by Nazi Germany led to the deaths of around 6 million Jews, along with millions of others deemed undesirable by the Nazis, such as Roma, disabled individuals, and political dissidents. 3. Creation of the United Nations. To prevent future conflicts, the United Nations, UN, was established in 1945 to foster international cooperation and peace. 4. Cold War. Following the war, tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union led to the Cold War, a period of political and military rivalry that lasted for decades. 5. Decolonization. Many colonial empires were weakened by the war, leading to independence movements and the eventual decolonization of parts of Africa and Asia. World War II reshaped the world politically, economically, and socially, laying the groundwork for much of the global order in the second half of the 20th century.